would you say is your biggest challenge during the off season?
The constant battle of ROI versus picking up that next big item. What is your aim? What is your mission and the vision, and how does your next purchase support that vision?
How does that agrotourism support your party rental business?
How can we help our community? We're not competing. This is not a competition for me. If you can create a community, you have the ability to influence. If I can have that influence in them, then we can make a change.
Hi everybody, Brigitte with the Jump Orange Party Rental Podcast here, and today I have a very special guest with me. I have Garett Valcourt with Jump Street Inflatables out of Bonifay, Florida. Garett has been running his business for how many years now?
Just about 5 years.
5 years, wow.
Yes,
and Garett has a very particular vision that we're going to share with you. But what I really want to talk to Garett about today as we're entering the off season, what kind of things that you do to make sure that you have a successful off season.
Sure.
So what would you say, Garett, is your biggest challenge during the off season, and how do you overcome that challenge?
Sure. So I'd say our biggest challenge, because we are in North Florida, we obviously don't have as lengthy as off season as most. But our biggest challenge is to acquire those schools and large corporations along with your community events. So your larger events, going from your single lane slides, residentials, over to your schools, which are going to require your obstacle courses, your combos. Our first 2 years, to be honest with you, we didn't have a whole lot of that. And so picking out what you need next and choosing the constant battle of an entrepreneur in this business is the constant battle of ROI versus picking up that next big item. And so in this case, what is your aim? What is your mission and the vision, and how does your next purchase support that vision? So for us, we had always tried to keep a focus and keep a main focus. And so for us, it was our main focus is to reach the unreached. Period. End of story.
Right.
And so in this case, the unreached in our business is always going to be those people who normally can't get the inflatable experience. And so in those off seasons, how do you reach those people? Well, schools. That is your main priority. So what do schools want in the off season, your fall indoor timeframes, right? Your indoor days.
Yes.
So large obstacle courses are always a hit. We actually just bought one today, but your rear entry slides are fantastic. Combos are huge hits. So you have to have the pieces in place to acquire the mission you have at hand, but that constant battle of ROI.
Yes.
Versus, do I get those next big ticket? So I guess it's acquiring your vision first, and then getting the pieces that you need. And then the obvious piece for everybody is going to be school's now back in session for most, and your manpower. So how do we get that right? So for that point, we're splitting up our deliveries and pickups into different manners. So our deliveries now have to be pushed to after 3:00. And our pickups now have to be pushed to after 3:00. So I got to wait for those kids to get off of school, so then they can get to us, and then we can go. So it's a constant battle, but the constant battle continues to maneuver in different directions every year for us as we grow.
Right.
And so this year, I think we're going to have a little bit of an easier time with the first battle, but that constant battle of the manpower will always be there.
Definitely.
So, does that make sense?
Yeah. And so I know, what got you started in this, and what you also have that supplements you is your agrotourism.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to be doing a pumpkin patch in the fall.
Right.
And then around Christmas time, there's going to be tree cutting at the farm.
Yes, ma'am.
And then in the spring, you're going to be doing an Easter event where you drop Easter eggs out of the sky.
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds magical. I want to be there. How does that agrotourism support your party rental business, your inflatable rentals?
Sure. Actually, it's a really funny story how this all occurred. The main vision, again, started with how can we help our community? Well, the agrotourism business was actually brought up first by my dad, who said, hey, I think we should just try to do something. And since you own this many acres of farmland, let's just throw it together. And so what we ended up doing was we went to Atlanta, bought I want to say it was like 2,000 pumpkins. We ended up getting a mangled up, beat up bounce house out of Jacksonville. So about a 5-hour drive, drove all the way back. Actually, we shoved it in the back of a Yukon, brought it all the way back, and we started this event. Well, we ended up planting 3 acres of flowers on top of that, and we just threw out the invite. Well,
Cool.
As the invite started to get around, we ended up getting a lot more people and more people. Well, as they started going on the bounce house, we had a gentleman walk over to us and ask us very blatantly, was like, hey, I see you have this bounce house. Do you ever use it for other things? We're like, nope, this is it. That's all we got. And he said, well, would you ever consider using this bounce house at other people's houses and letting them just rent it out? Sure, why not? Let's try it. And so what was just a mild suggestion ended up turning into, hey, we need to look into doing this more. And now we're 60 inflatables in, and I mean, what started off as a community event has now bridged off into now the inflatables are now actually supporting the farm.
Wow.
And so we actually got a lot of our connections through agritourism. So the farm, when we started it, we decided we wanted to get some different items for it. Well, we got a call from a gentleman down in Midland, Texas, who said, hey, I've got some items. Would you like to come look at them? So we drove all the way down to Midland, Texas, which is a long drive from where we're at. And as we got there, he started showing us these items for the agritourism business, like a mining sluice and a potato gun, like a cannon. And so as we're talking to him, we notice all these trucks and trailers, like, oh, what else do you do? Well, we found out he's like one of the leading people in Texas when it comes to these things. And so
Wow.
He is an inflatable guy named Ricky Hickey.
I think most people know who that is.
Absolutely amazing guy. Walked us through his entire warehouse, showed us everything we could have imagined about this business, gave us insider info, gave us our first helping hand.
Wow.
And so we started realizing, hey, there are some really great people in this community. Let's reach out to more. Well, he connected us with others. So we can say in this community, there's a lot of people that are willing to pull you up with them. Mm-hmm. And honestly, a lot of them who are willing to throw you up even further than they are. So Jana has been an essential for us. Jana and Joe have showed us a lot of things that we would have never known. And even while I was making purchases today, who did I contact? Jana, what you got?
Should I get this?
Yeah. Jana, what do you think about this purchase? Does this fulfill the vision that we have for our company?
Yes.
Jamie Sockbasin, we call him. Jamie, dude, like, can you explain to me how this could help the vision? And it's having those people in place that know your vision and want to help you forward your vision and not turn it into some competitive thing. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not competing. This is not a competition for me. It never has been. It never will be. I don't care who's in our area. This will always be, how can you and I come together to improve our community, whether it's through agritourism or through the inflatable business? How can we make our community better? That's it. And agritourism has really been the start of that, and then it molded into both being such an integral part of our area.
Yeah.
So, it's been a fantastic ride that I know is going to continue further with the help of people helping pull us up. Because I'll be honest with you, half the time I have no idea what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But I find the people who do, and I honestly, when I say I take their wisdom, it's the most valued thing that we have. Is those people who have been in this business for 15, 20 years that are willing to glean every bit of wisdom and pass it on to the little guys like us.
It's what you're doing right now, Garrett. Right now, there's somebody that's going to listen to this, and they're going to glean some wisdom from you, and they're going to put it into their business, and it's going to help them become more successful.
Lord, that's my prayer.
And they're going to, they're going to pass that along. You know, there's something I heard you say that it just touched my heart so much. When you can't fill a wallet, fill a heart.
Yep.
I want you to tell me some more about that and about that vision.
So the vision of our business, as I said before, it was never about $1. Both my wife and I were making decent enough money. It wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't about that. The vision of our business was always about how we can improve a community, how we can make our community better, how we can leave a legacy that others want to follow. And so I never wanted it, even with my guys, my workers, my family, I never wanted to be about the next dollar or filling a wallet. I always wanted to be about how can we fill their heart. Why? Because those hearts are going to return to your company as well. So if you're not in this just to fill something of you, but you're in it to fill something of somebody else, they'll come back because they want to be filled again. That is a fact. It doesn't matter what you think. That is how it is. If you can fill them one time, they're going to want to come back to be filled again. And when you fill them with something amazing that, hey man, like a smile, heaven forbid. We were just talking about on the way here. Customer services has gone way down since I was a kid. I mean, I'm almost 40 years old, and customer service since I was younger has gone out the window.
Yeah.
Well, what about those businesses who changed that? Chick-fil-A is a great example, right? They changed customer service, and now their business is booming. So for us, my idea was you have to fill these people with something other than a business. Show them you care.
And I know you're not going to plug yourself, so I'm going to plug you. You've done a lot of charity work. You're putting a lot of money back into your community. Can you tell me how much money you've put back into your community since the beginning of this year?
Sure. So since the beginning of this year, since January, I want to say it's right around 21 to 24,000. And so now what does that consist of? Every one of our churches gets a break because they're doing community work. They're improving a community. I believe in that. I'm in. Every bit of our schools, if they're doing a community event, they get a break.
Wow.
We're in. We have had multiple people ask us, just for example, we had a young family that had a son. He ended up developing cancer at just a very young age. Mm-hmm. And so their entire intent was to come to the farm and play on the inflatables and have a great time, get a pumpkin and have a great day and make memories, right? Well, with all the people that were there and his condition at the time, that wasn't going to be possible. And so what we decided was, well, if he can't come here, we're going to bring it to him. And so what we ended up doing was we packed up a slide and a bounce house. We brought that over to them. We packed up a couple of pumpkins and carving kits. We brought that to them. And we brought the core memory that they could have created at our farm to their own place. Why? Because everybody deserves that.
Yes.
There's nobody that I've ever met, especially a kid, that I was like, that kid don't deserve it. Right? And so I've found that if you can create a community, you have the ability to influence. If I can be a part of that community and there's nobody that I won't turn away, right? If there's nobody that I will turn away, I have the ability to have an influence in them. Mm-hmm. So if I can have that influence in them, then we can make a change. We can break those generational curses. We can break the poverty-strickenness of our area. We can break those. How? By serving, being a smile every now and again, showing them that even after we're about to leave and we know it's their birthday, we set up everything and they said, yeah, it's for his birthday party. Dude, happy birthday, man. Like, I hope it's the best birthday you've ever had. It's those little touches in your customer service that will change everything about your business. And so that's what we instill in our workers. Mm-hmm. Every single one of the guys that works for us, we say, if it takes you a little extra time, take it. If you want to jump on it with them and have a good time for 5-10 minutes, go ahead. Yeah. Show them that you're now involved in what they have going on. That is the biggest thing for me is you're showing that you're family. You're part of it. Yeah. So when we say you're part of our Jump family, you're part of the Jump Street family, it's not just a saying. You actually are within our family. If we ever said, hey, we're having something at the farm, and we say, hey, everybody who's ordered from us, come, I guarantee you we'd fill that farm. And that's why we have a 90% return rate.
90% return rate?
90%.
Wow.
90%.
So it's working.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're changing your community.
Right.
You're putting good out into it.
And I love it, every minute of it.
And your message is so strong. I mean, you know who you are. You know who your company is.
Right.
You've got your vision, and that is just permeating the entire culture of it.
And it's because your character will define your business. It should not be the other way around. You can hear about these companies that go out there and say, hey, I'm going to tell this customer that we're completely full because I really want them to get this thing, right? Or this item. I'm not doing that. That's not the character of our business. That should never be what we stand for. Our character is, if we're going to claim to be honest people, we should be honest in our business. If we're going to be claimed to be people of integrity, then we better be a business full of integrity.
Yes.
And that's what we stand for. And we're only going to hire those people. Why? Because that's who you are. Your business doesn't define who you are. You define who the business is. So let your business be a reflection of who you already are. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing in this, is they're trying to let their businesses define them. No. If my business weren't here, this is still who I am.
Yes.
And that's what we have to instill in this, especially in an entertainment company. You should be the person who shows these people how to have fun. Am I wrong?
Totally,
when
you're
you
right.
show up, jump with them, have fun with them, high five them. Honestly, I can't guarantee we haven't sprayed a kid with a hose every now and again. It's really just being silly and being ridiculous. Why?
Yeah.
You're an entertainment company.
Yeah.
Entertain them. Have some fun with them. Show that you actually care. Represent something more than just your business. Represent a community of people that are saying, I'm going to build this because I want to build the rest of this. Mm-hmm. So that's what we've instilled in our guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is, honestly a gift for you to share.
Thanks.
And after listening to you, I mean, I feel the call. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to be a part of the Jump Street family.
We align ourselves with businesses that align with our mission, and Jump Orange has been that for us.
Oh.
When we come in here and we ask the questions, you guys have always been honest with us. You've always been people that have walked us through a process, and you've never tried to push a product on us that didn't align with what we're trying to do. And so we are very appreciative of y'all too.
Thanks so much.
We mean that with everything. And so if you guys ever need anything from us, we're here too.
Yeah, you're definitely a part of the Jump Orange family.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, everybody, I hope you gained some amazing nuggets out of this podcast. I know I did. If you like what you heard, please leave a comment below. Let us know what you learned today that you're going to take and implement in your business. If you are not sure how this is affecting his employees, please keep checking out the podcast because we actually interviewed one of his employees as well. And when you hear Seth talk about his employer, you can see that this is the real deal. This is really who Jump Street Inflatables is. So thank you all so much. Make sure you subscribe and check out more content. And we'll see you later on the Jump Orange Party Rental Podcast.